Joining me now is Tobore Ovuorie, a freelance investigative journalist. She is also the managing, she has been coordinating activities of those living with asthma as well. It's good to have you join us in the studio.
Thank you.
Now, as my colleague in the industry, as my colleague as a journalist,
Okay.
do you think there's enough attention on what asthma is and enlightening people and what they should do and what they shouldn't do and all of that?
I don't think there is enough attention.
Okay.
There isn't enough awareness because just yesterday evening I was discussing with a fellow journalist, and the things he said about asthma turned out to be false. For instance, he said he has certain guests that comes to his house, and before they come, he gets to buy inhalers, put different things here and there, and when they are frying chickens, he ensures they don't go into the kitchen. And I burst into laughter. That means if there is a lady amongst them, she must get married to a very wealthy man.
Okay.
Having asthma doesn't mean you cannot fry chicken or you can't be in the kitchen.
Especially when we love chicken, eh?
I had to correct certain
Insinuation, assumptions.
Yes.
Okay.
And I had to make him understand that, see, there are symptoms, there are allergies, and different persons living with asthma are managing asthma. And except I tell people, they don't even know.
You fry all the chicken. And so talk to us about anything that can trigger, a crisis in asthma.
Okay, let me personalize that question. I avoid dust.
Okay.
And amongst family members, when they, I fed Dano, want to do this and that, and they get the firewood and, bonfire, cook this, I don't get involved because I know this is going to trigger me. For some other persons, it could be the droplet of cockroaches. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. At a time, that used to affect me.
Okay.
Then for some, they can't stand perfumes. Then some cannot stand fumes, as in smoke, polluted environment. I can stand that as well.
So it's different things for different people?
Different people,
Okay.
yes. So know your allergies. That
right.
means you have to be very close to your doctor.
So basically, how do we manage for someone who has? Thank God you say you are managing yours and managing it perfectly. You can fry all the chickens and so on. So how can any average person manage asthma?
The word average in Nigeria is quite relative, I would want to state.
Okay.
But for anyone managing asthma, first, don't do self-medication.
All right.
You have to be close to the chest physician. The chest physician has to check you from time to time, not going to the hospital once in a year or never. Oh, I'm breathing fine, so I wouldn't go to the hospital. That's very risky, one.
Okay.
Then, on the other hand, if you are close to your chest physician, that's your medical doctor, he would be able to let you know the kind of medication to take. Okay,
fine. We have to leave it here now because of time, but I must thank you, Tobore, for coming on the program and giving us enlightenment. At least we know we can still fry chicken. Thank you very much.
Joining me now is Tobore Ovuorie, a freelance investigative journalist. Actually, we've talked about this before we came on the air. I hope I got it close. I pronounced it right?
45%.
That's bad. But then, thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Welcome.
Now, according to reports, about 1.5 million Nigerians die yearly from asthma. As worrying as it is, what do you feel as an investigative journalist, what do you feel is at the root of this figure?
I don't want to sound shaming or trading blames. Of course, I'm supposed to go the route of, the government, this, that.
Well.
And it's one thing for the doctor to tell you, do this, don't do that. It's another thing for the patient to actually follow the rules.
There are rules?
Yes, self-care. Know your triggers, the allergies. If it is dust, then don't go looking for a house in a very dusty neighborhood. And if for economic reasons you have to end up in a very dusty neighborhood, that means you must embrace using the nose mask every now and then.
But, wow, but some persons might say that they don't even know that they have asthma. Perhaps we should begin from that point. How do people realize that they are perhaps victims or suffering from asthma?
Okay, now let me personalize that question. I was much younger when it was discovered in me. I had this noisy breathing, wheezy. It's like I'm whistling. And I had this frequent chest pain, and I'll be unable to sleep properly in the night, and I'm gasping for breath. It's like something is blocking my lungs. And when it gets so cold, it's something else. I'm practically breaking down. And, oh, let her drink hot tea.
Yeah.
Let her do
want to quickly self-medicate to find solution.
There was no solution. So I ended in the hospital, and that was where it was discovered after several tests.
So these are the signs and symptoms people should pay attention to.
Yeah.
So now you were, earlier you were speaking about self-care. And you said there were rules. What are the rules for people who are watching?
When one ends in the hospital, you get to see the chest physician, and he or she has carried out every needed test, of course, x-rays and all that. Then you will be told there's something called your breathing diary. I have a breathing diary. I take notes of my breath and all that. When that has been done, the doctor will tell you what you should avoid, how you are to maintain yourself.
All right.
Then, for me, I can't stand emotional stress.
Oh.
So if you are toxic, I will forgive you, but I will keep you at arm's length.
Interesting, Tobore. Well, we need to leave it at this point because we've run short of time. Thank you so much for your time on TVC Breakfast.
Now, Tobore Ovuorie, she's a freelance investigative journalist joining us right now. It's good to have you join me.
Thank you very much.
All right. Now, when it comes to anything medical, one would say don't be too far from the doctors or don't be too far from the hospital, so that just in case it gets very bad, or you don't even have to wait until it gets very bad before so that you can save your life. But for someone who is managing, or anybody who is managing asthma, how often should you go to the hospital for checks?
For someone who is managing asthma, I would say monitor your breathing.
Okay.
And as you monitor the breathing, you have to be very close to your doctor, be he the chest physician, the immunologist. You have to be very close to the person. Now, let me personalize the question. I'm very close to my chest physician. And when I get to that time of the year that I know I do have difficulties, I ensure that I go to the hospital weekly.
Every week?
Yeah.
Every week?
Once a week.
Okay.
So that he can monitor me properly. But I would say it's different folks, different strokes.
Right.
What applies to me
might be different from someone else.
For someone else.
What is the place of the inhaler? What does it do?
The inhalers, we have the preventive and we have the rescue inhaler.
Right. So there are different kinds or types of inhaler.
Yeah.
Good.
I again want to personalize that. The preventive, in the morning when I wake up, I do take some puffs of that. Okay. That ensures my lungs, there is no obstruction whatsoever. The nature of my job, I'm on the field, I go through a whole lot of rigors every day. Then the rescue inhaler is in case of when there is a crisis, that is when the rescue inhaler comes to play. But we have many persons out there who are not aware of these differences. So they see somebody, if we need inhaler, give.
Just get the inhaler.
Inhaler.
Okay.
There are different types of inhalers. And that is why I would still repeat, self-care, be close to your doctor. Your doctor will be able to break everything down to you. There is the rescue inhaler, there is the preventive.
All right, so is it advisable that anyone who has asthma should have these two inhalers?
Again, it is the medical personnel
Who should recommend?
that would recommend what is good for you.
Okay.
I have the medications I take. But someone else who is managing asthma may not even need the kind of care being given to me.
Yeah.
So it's the medical doctor that will determine what suits any of the patients.
After the proper diagnosis and knowing what category and all of that.
Yes.
Okay.
I do undergo nebulization. If you were asthmatic, you may not need nebulization.
Okay. Right.
So different folks, different strokes.
All right. Thank you very much, Tobore Ovuorie. Thank you so much for coming on the program. And we wish you well as well.
Okay.
Thank you.